Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this incredible basketball show. Today, we'll tell how James regained confidence amid adversity. While passing by the court, James was too scared to stop. The coach tried to comfort him and walked over. James, being all muscular, immediately tossed the ball back. The coach said he wasn't there to cause trouble, just to apologize on behalf of the players. James heard this and silently rolled away with his shopping cart. Clearly, he didn't want to suffer that kind of abuse again. However, the coach's words gave him the courage to keep watching the games. From then on, James continued to be a shadowy spectator at team's practice, like a die-hard fan. In the dark corners, you could always spot his lonely figure. The coach realized that pursuing basketball could change his life, because perseverance is a rare breed of spirit. This is the stepping stone to success, and it seems James has that quality. The coach boldly made a quirky decision, handing a bottle of water to the assistant, ordering him to deliver it to James. The assistant was puzzled, but when the assistant approached, James looked 10 times more nervous than his cat. To ease the pressure, he just tossed the water into the cart and quickly left. Only then did James let down his guard, realizing it was just a misunderstanding. Seeing this, the coach rushed over, wearing a face full of warmth and care. He bravely stepped onto the basketball court, as if he was there to cheer it on. He hoped James would join the team as an assistant coach, but James was too busy fiddling with the radio, as if he had stumbled upon a mistake. The coach decided not to pressure him and instead treated him to burgers in color. Who could refuse that? He even gifted him the treasured radio he had kept for years and personally drove him home. When he met James' mother, the coach gathered his courage to speak. However, his mother didn't agree, clearly used to such situations, because in that era, honest folks were often treated as stepping stones. The coach understood the concerns and had to retreat for the time being, but later that night, as if she had witnessed his son's happiness, the mother inquired about his radio, and James' response completely dispelled her worries. Because she encouraged James, saying, "You're a brave kid. You can face any challenge as long as you're willing to try." Like a key unlocking his heart, the next day James soared out like a little bird. This time, he didn't linger but boldly stepped onto the field, and the coach pointed him out, introducing him as the new assistant coach. He reminded everyone to get along and absolutely not to bully. The players nodded in agreement, but once the coach turned his back, things went south. They seized the chance to start hunting James, even pushing him down, as if it were a wild survival game. But those who hurt others will eventually pay the price. In contrast, James not only held no grudges but also helped those who bullied him. What a sweetheart. His comedic moves always brought laughter to the players, so he earnestly imitated the assistant coach, putting his best foot forward. During games, he cheered alongside the cheerleaders. When the team lagged, he'd shout, "Come on guys, don't give." After the game, he recorded his stats, and even though the team lost a few matches, he remained optimistic and inspired the whole squad. His every word and move shone like the sun, warming every player. Before long, the team finally turned the tide, winning several games in a row. James played an important part, and more people started recognizing him. However, with that came doubts and ridicule, as some parents called him a fool, leaving him a bit uncomfortable. The coach didn't react impulsively, but went to talk to James' mother to understand the situation. She told him, "In fact, James isn't a weirdo, he just responds slower. He's a good kid, but people are blinded by looks. Years ago, when his father passed, I became the only one he could talk to, but I work over 10 hours a day and can't keep an eye on him. I appreciate you helping him, coach. If only others would take the time to know him, he truly is a wonderful character." After hearing the mother, the coach was determined to help James, but the principal suddenly threw a bucket of cold water on him. The principal declared that James didn't belong to the school and couldn't ride the bus with the team. Although he was unwilling deep down, the coach had to follow the principal's arrangement and stopped James, who was about to get on the bus, thinking to himself, "If no one believes in me, I'm sorry, truly sorry." James was hurt once again. Life had dealt him too many blows. Like a raging storm, constantly battering him, yet it couldn't extinguish the fire within. He was like a budding sapling, standing tall amidst the storm, unable to cheer life, but listening to the game on the radio. But every step felt like struggling in the mud, and the team didn't win. It was indeed a disheartening day. However, the next day, he emerged from the gloom, as the coach felt very guilty and took him to the fanciest restaurant in town for a feast. He even prepared a surprise unexpectedly. The coach arranged for James to join the team on stage, basking in the wild applause. It was a moment Ted never had before, and James was as happy as a child, his face beaming with pure joy. All unhappiness vanished, but in excitement, he blurted out the team's tactics. The coach stopped him, but it was too late. The opponents quickly devised counter-strategies, leaving the team in a pitiful state. They not only faced biased calls from the referees, but the coach, furious, charged forward only to be penalized. Helpless, James stormed into the field to vent, but it cost him dearly a yellow card and a third violation, pushing the team back 45 yards. At halftime, their faces showed sheer disappointment, and Johnny slammed his hand on the table to vent his fury. James, misinterpreting, handed the ball to Johnny and patted his head, causing everyone to break into laughter. That's his unique charm, always uplifting spirits when the team is down. As the second half began, the team was ready to strike back. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe.